What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Saturday, February 7th, 2026, and it is the first weekly recap of the month. And it's a very interesting month indeed because it is Black History Month. And not only that, it's the centennial. So we are officially celebrating 100 years of Black excellence, in particular, Black American excellence. But shout out to everybody that's in the chat so far. Shout out to everybody, all the members, all the mods, everybody on Patreon, everybody in the Discord. I appreciate each and every one of you. This is going to be a very good show today. We have a lot of things to discuss because, as y'all know, whenever I do the first week of the weekly recap, it's always a lot of topics because I'm covering stuff from last week and this week because, you know, the last Saturday of every month, we always do the Sound Off Saturday, which is not a structured stream like this one is. So we have a lot of things to discuss. So hopefully everyone comes on in. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit the like button, hit the share button, all of that good stuff. And let's see who we have in here so far. We got Firebat, Joseph Washington, Sybil, Haxon KT, Hurricane Nisi, Dark Titan, Don P, Wallow J. And that is it so far. But shout out to each and every one of you that's in the chat. So as y'all know, every time I do a weekly recap, I always like to start off with some good news. Well, this particular news, I think by now everybody in this chat may have already seen this because it has been floating around social media for the last couple of days. But I had to bring it here as well. So let me go ahead now and share my screen because I feel like because this is Black History Month, this is the best way to kick it off with this video right here. So let me go ahead and play that.
This Black History Month, we're highlighting foundational Black Americans whose ingenuity, innovations, and labor play a critical role in American culture and infrastructure, including Alexander Miles, who invented automatic elevator doors in 1887, and Garrett Morgan, who invented the 3-light traffic signal in 1923. And our next guest is working to ensure that foundational Black Americans' contributions are known.
Before the modern day toilet, the can, the pot, the throne, the john, whatever you call it, going to the bathroom used to be messy, uncomfortable, it smelled bad, and it could also spread disease. All that began to change because the foundational Black American invented the modern indoor toilet, and his name was Thomas Elkin.
Yeah, thank goodness for Thomas Elkin. And that is just one of many videos made by author and creator of Foundational Black American Legacy, Teresa Allman.
All right, so this is the video right here. Like I said, I'm sure many of you in the chat have already seen this, but in case y'all didn't know, ABC News Live did a segment highlighting Black History Month, but they made sure to mention foundational Black American. And ever since this went out there, you had a lot of people online are saying, oh, I thought y'all said it was an online thing, or people were trying to say that it was a cult and that it was a this and that was a that. This right here, I prefer this right here over the what Tucker Carlson and what's his name, the one down in Florida, tried to do when they tried to call us heritage Americans. I said, y'all better not fall for the crap they said. This right here is proper acknowledgement, and it fell in this month, which is even more interesting. Oh, KG, I'm almost certain of it. I'm almost certain of it because now what they're going to say, I mean, is rhetorical. I know they're going to continue to say something. I already know this. This I know. But shout out to ABC News Live for that segment. So now that I've talking about that, let me go into the next bit of news or good news. And ironically, this too involves, I guess you could say it loosely involves Black people because a Black creator was behind it. So Sinners is in the news again, but this time it's because of two reasons. The film Sinners is now officially a Grammy Award winning film, a 2-time Grammy Award winning film for Best Compilation Soundtrack for Visual Media. And I think it was another one that it won as well, because I know they won 2 of them. So shout out to the Sinners soundtrack for winning 2 Grammys, as it should, if you want to be honest, because the music in that movie was so freaking good. So that's the other bit of news that I wanted to bring to y'all. That was from the Grammys. And don't worry, we got some more Grammy stuff. I mean, y'all see the titles. Y'all know what's coming. So make sure y'all pile on in here, because I definitely got some things to say about that for sure, as many of us already have. But of course, well, actually, before I get into that, I also wanted to share this bit of news too, because this actually, I just came across this right before I went live, and that's about Lonnie Johnson. Now, when I did my deep dive this week, it was about 10 inventions you may or may not know that were created by Black Americans that white people took credit for. Well, one of the people that I talked about was Lonnie Johnson, who was the inventor of the Super Soaker, which of course is one of the most popular, recognizable toys of the 90s. I know I had me a Super Soaker. I know plenty of kids I grew up with had Super Soakers, whether it was the small ones or the big ones. I remember when I was in college, we had a whole water fight on campus back in like 07 or 08 when the weather broke. And I saw so many people who had those Super Soakers. It was a blast. We had a time. A time was had, as they like to say. But from Say Cheese, it said the man who created the Super Soaker, Lonnie Johnson, was awarded $72.9 million in Hasbro settlement for unpaid royalties. The Super Soaker was the world's best-selling toy in the 90s, moving over 250 million units. Now, this just happened. This man is just now getting a settlement because they were not paying him his royalties for his invention. And they sold over 250 million units. That is a lot of weight that was being pushed. But this goes back to what I've always said. It goes back to what did I say in that video? We do the work, but don't get the credit. He's just now getting this. That's crazy. What's going on, Tamika? And before I go further, shout out to Sammy for the 5. He said, "What up, Soren?" He says, "Are you going to give your thoughts and review on J. Cole's The Fall Off album?" Probably not. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I haven't even gotten a chance to listen to the album yet. But I appreciate the super chat. But I'm glad that he's getting his back pay, but still, like, he basically is saying he got money already from, the units being moved when they were moving like that, but there was back pay, so to speak, that he was not receiving. And he's just now getting it as one big lump sum. But yeah, the Super Soaker was prominent. I mean, every single summer, when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, you always had, when we had water fights, you had people, they turned the hose on, you had the water balloons, you had the little squirt guns, but you always had a plethora of people who had them Super Soakers. And of course, you knew if you had them big giant Super Soakers, because there were ones bigger than the ones that you see in this picture. I mean, some of these look like the guns off of Men in Black, or the ones with the backpack. Then that's how you knew those people had their parents spent a pretty penny for those, because those Super Soakers, those big giant ones, especially ones with the backpack that you could put the water in and just pump it out of the backpack, those were not cheap at all. You're talking about spending nearly $50. And at that time, that was considered expensive for a toy. Nowadays, that would be considered cheap. Then, of course, you had the ones that you hooked up to your hand that looked like the one right here in the bottom left corner. I mean, wow. When I found out years ago that a black man did this, a little piece of my soul just kind of giggled a little bit. I was like, he did that. And this is a worldwide product. This wasn't just something that was limited to the States. This was a global product, meaning kids around the globe was using this and didn't even know in their hands what they were playing with every summer with their friends when they were out of school was invented by a black guy. But shout out to Lonnie, receiving his royalties, even though he should have been got it, but he has it now. But now we got to move on, because while there are happy topics like the ones I just kicked off with, there are some also some unfortunate ones, like this first one right here. So condolences goes out to Cori Broadus, who is the daughter, the one and only daughter of Snoop, because she ended up losing her 10-month-old baby girl. She ended up passing away. I don't exactly know the causes. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I mean, to lose your child, and they didn't even make it to a year old, and and I believe this was her first child. So yeah, this was the child that made her a mother. So it's unfortunate, but it says right here, Snoop Dogg's daughter, Cori Broadus, announces the death of her 10-month-old baby girl, and she said, "I lost the love of my life." And she's 26. So yeah, that's very unfortunate. But also in the following tragic news was something that recently happened. Speaking of a parent that lost a child, condolences to Little John, because I believe they said that his son went missing for a few days and they didn't hear from him. Like, they didn't know where he was at. But unfortunately, bad news came upon him and his family, because it actually got revealed from news sources that his son's body was found in a pond. And he was only 27. And it's crazy how much his son looks just like him, especially in younger pictures. His name was Nathan Smith, but he went by the name of DJ Young Slade. He said he was reported missing from the family on Tuesday, February 3rd, and on yesterday, February 6th, they found his body. So definitely condolences to Lil Jon and his family for the passing of his son. Now I'm now I'm kind of like, with this one, I'm kind of like looking at it like, okay, they said they found him in a pond. How in the world did he get there is my question. So I hope there's like, they're not just accepting it, oh, he just died and he died in the pond. Hopefully there's an investigation, because that just sounds kind of iffy, because it's not like they said he was found inside of his home. He was found in a pond. Yeah, Haxon, I don't want to be that guy, but something don't seem right. But yeah, I'm sure that they're gonna do an investigation, because that doesn't scream right to me. All right, y'all. So now let's get into the main stories of the day. The first one we're gonna start off is with this Luigi Mangione. So, in case y'all don't know, last week, this man attempted to break Luigi Mangione out of prison by posing as an FBI agent. In case y'all forgot who Luigi is, he is the one that took out that healthcare CEO back in 2024. And he literally, to many people, became like an overnight hero, considering the healthcare system that we have. They said a man claiming to be Tamika, I have no doubt. When I saw this happen, I said they definitely going to make a movie about this. Netflix is just waiting and counting down the days, because they're going to be one of the first people on it. A man claiming to be an FBI agent appeared at a federal jail on Wednesday night and told officers he had a court order to release Luigi Mangione, authorities said. Mark Anderson, age 36, of Mankato, Minnesota, was arrested and charged with impersonating an FBI agent in an alleged attempt to free Mangione from jail. According to a criminal complaint, Anderson approached the jail intake area at around 6:50 p.m. on January 28th. The man told the officers that he was an FBI agent in possession of paperwork signed by a judge authorizing Mangione's release, the Associated Press reports. And I'm not going to read through all of that. It says he was expected to make an appearance in Brooklyn federal court on Thursday. Mangione is accused of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan back on December 4th, 2024. He is awaiting trial on state and federal murder charges. And the rest of it is just a timeline of the case. So that's pretty much it. I see Wallow and Denise saying allegedly in the chat. Yes, allegedly. But yeah, some people, they want him. There's people that want him free. I mean, if you go to those lengths. Now, the other update that involves Luigi is that they've already set a trial date for him. I didn't get the exact date, but I got the month. So his trial is going to begin in June. It's going to be a lot of trials this year because you got his trial this year. You know, you got Carmelo Anthony's trial is supposed to be this year. It's a lot of upcoming trials for some very high profile cases, and that's 2 of them right there. So there's that story right there. Now let's get into one of the first major stories of the day that I really wanted to go over, and that's Shaboozey. Oh God. And shout out to everybody that has already talked about this. I can wholeheartedly say I agree pretty much with every last one of your talking points because I'm going to be in the same boat with you. So in case y'all are unaware, but I think y'all know, Shaboozey is a country artist. I first learned about him when Beyonce featured him on her Country Carter album. Was it last year? No, 2 years ago now. 2 years ago now. And she had him featured on a song or two. And that's how I first learned about him. And he gained some popularity because he had did another song and that really propelled him. Well, fast forward to this past Sunday, he won a Grammy for best country artist? I think it was. No, best country duo or group performance. And he gave a speech where in his speech, he thanked immigrants for building the country. As a matter of fact, I think I have the video. I'm not sure. I may not have it. I don't know. He said in his speech that he thanked immigrants for building this country. And when I heard that, I said, in less than an hour, FBA is going to be on his ass. And sure enough, we were. Because for him to get up there and say immigrants built this country is so disrespectful while coming from an immigrant background himself, because he has 2 immigrant parents. I think they're both Nigerian. And for him to say that, especially about an artistry in a genre of music that was created by Black Americans, in which he just won an award in. So let's see what he said. He said, to be clear, I know and believe that we, Black people, have also built this country. He didn't lead with that. But the fact that the thing is, he says Black people have also, as if as if our ancestors were collaborating with immigrants. Because they keep trying to mix up Black Americans and immigrants into this one big ball of confusion. And we're not allowing that to happen. And shouldn't. He said, my words were not meant to erase, diminish, or overlook that truth. And I sincerely apologize for how they came across. Are you? Because I'm always of the belief that whatever you said the first time, you meant it. He said that history, sacrifice, and resilience are undeniable, and I should have been more intentional in honoring that in my moment on stage. Good question, Emmanuel. Let me actually highlight that. Emmanuel said, why was he an immigrant when he was winning, but felt like a Black American when acknowledging his problematic behavior? Oh, look, we got a troll. Medler X said, Black people did not build this country alone. Y'all are too worried about the past. Pathetic. You'll never grow. And why white people remain on top. Well, you must not be familiar with the birth rates globally because they are in a harsh and sharp decline. So I don't know at the top of what you think they're going to be at. Well, if you're sick of this crybaby-ish like you claim, then why are you in my chat listening to this so-called crybaby? I mean, that's what I'd like to know. I swear the trolls of this of today do not know how to troll. So I'm not banning you simply off of the strength of what you said. I'm banning you because you are a horrible troller. Like I said, boring content. Let's continue. He said, this moment belongs to all of us. He says, I'm proud to be part of this legacy, and I intend to continue doing that for the rest of my life. Let's see what he said. I think they might have the full statement on here. Oh, okay. Here's the full statement right here. I got the full statement. So this is the full statement. He said, first and foremost, I want to express my deep gratitude to everyone who has supported and celebrated my journey as an artist. I also want to acknowledge this conversation surrounding my acceptance speech. To be clear, I know and believe that we are Black people, yada, yada, yada. He already said that. I am both a Black man and the son of Nigerian immigrants. In the overwhelming moment of winning my first Grammy, my focus was on honoring the sacrifices my parents made by coming to this country to give me and my siblings opportunity they never had. He could have left that Black man part off and just focused on the Nigerian part, because honestly, that's what he was really focused on. Let's be real here. This is not an apology. This is a PR damage control statement. Because if there was no pushback, he would have never said this. He said, at the same time, winning this award on the first day of Black History Month and becoming the first Black man, now he knows he's Black. To win Best Country Duo is Black history. It stands on the foundation laid by generations of Black people who fought, sacrificed, and succeeded long before me. This moment belongs to all of us. He says, my entire career has been rooted in lifting people up, honoring where we came from. Where we come from, sir, you're talking about your immigrant background and expanding on what's possible. I am proud to be a part of this legacy, and I tend to continue doing that work for the rest of my life. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is why we are delineating. He could have kept all of this. Honestly, if he didn't want to bring up the whole immigrant thing like he did, he could have just thanked God, thanked his parents, thanked the people he collabed with, which I believe was Jelly Roll, the writers, producers, the engineer, all of that. The usual thing. He didn't even have to go into that, but he did, which means that was weighed heavy on him, and he felt compelled to do it. Going to sit up there and say immigrants built this country. Sir, when did your parents get here? Because I want to believe Shaboozey is probably around my age, which means he was probably born in the late 80s or early 90s at the most, which means his parents had to have gotten here at least probably in the 80s or the late 70s. If he's hypothetically first generation born, that is 91. So your family came over here way after the hard part was done. So what is this us? What is this we? Profess 84, yeah, you said the industry wants Black entertainers to speak out on everything but anti-Black issues, and that is exactly why Colin Kaepernick got out of the NFL early. Well, rather, he was pushed out, rather. But yeah, he could have kept that sorry so-called apology, which it definitely wasn't. But that takes care of one tether, but we also got to address another one that's been in the news, and I think it's fitting that they get this because, well, they deserve it. So, y'all remember when I made that community tab post? Maybe it was last week about Nicki getting that gold card that would have given her citizenship or something like that. Well, it turns out from a White House insider that that gold card that Nicki got was fake. It means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. So let's go ahead and get into this. It says White House insider torpedoes Nicki Minaj's $1 million gold card flex. Nicki Minaj's Trump flattery has won her not only pals inside the White House, but also a $1 million Trump gold card that has reportedly turned out to be worthless. The rapper flaunted the gift bestowed upon her by the wonderful, gracious, charming president, her words, after she spent the majority of the week positioning herself firmly in the center of MAGA world. The 43-year-old star, originally from the Caribbean twin island of Trinidad and Tobago and raised in Queens, popped up earlier this week at an event supporting the President Trump account initiatives, starred in a TikTok with the soon-to-be octogenarian, and snapped selfies with most of his close allies. She also showed up at the premiere of Melania Trump's eponymous documentary in Washington, D.C. Her reward for all of the star-spangled flattery, a Trump gold card, a visa based upon an individual's ability to provide a substantial benefit to the United States. Gold Trump card free of charge, she boasted in a bizarre X post alongside a picture of the horror film murderous doll Chucky, flashing the middle finger. Minaj, who said previously that she came to the country illegally, also said she was now finalizing her citizenship paperwork. But if she really believes she's been given a Trump gold card, she's in for a rude awakening. The card that she got is a dud, a fake, a mere memento, according to an anonymous White House official who spoke to the New York Times. It is not a visa document, the official revealed. The flex from Minaj rings hollow anyway, as she already appears to have legal status. A Homeland Security Department official said the musician had been a legal permanent resident for around 20 years, meaning she was already eligible to petition for citizenship. Well, in that case, why didn't she? That's my question. The gold card allows wealthy foreigners who have passed the background check to apply for EB1 or EB2 visas, usually reserved for those with extraordinary ability, once they have paid $1 million on top of the $15,000 processing fee to the Department of Homeland Security. However, legal experts have said courts still decide that using Trump's gold card route to citizenship is illegal because Congress has not approved it. If that were to happen, applicants risk not having their $1 million fee returned. Like we said last week or 2 weeks ago, it is all a hustle. It is all a hustle. Jesse said to hell with Nicki Minaj. Yeah, pretty much. Listen, when she gets her wake-up call, oh, that's gonna be glorious. I can't wait for the day. I literally can't wait. And it can't happen fast enough. Well, that's it with her. But I want to go on to this video that I came across on Threads. And this is going to show without the shadow of a doubt why we say that there is no such thing as a black and brown coalition. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know the context behind the actual video itself, but I do know it involves some Kirby-shaped looking Latina women and this black male security guard. And apparently something happened to their friend. He must did something and tried to pop off, and the black guy popped off back, and they got upset with him. And now they going at this black man sideways. So let me go ahead and start and share this right here. Let me see something.
We are next.
Are you laughing, monkey? Are you laughing, monkey? Monkey,
Yo, man's bling. Yo, man's bling. Yo, man's bling. Yo, man's bling.
So y'all saw that. Now, did y'all hear what they was calling this man? They was calling him a monkey. They was calling him a slave. And then towards the end, you heard someone call him the N-word with the hard R like 2 times. And throwing up the middle finger. Now, I could have sworn that people said that only black women are ghetto. If black women are considered to be ghetto, then what is this? Somebody let me know. And I just can't get over the fact that the one right there with the pink shirt literally looks like Kirby. What's going on, Dewani? I mean, I just want to know if black women are considered to be ghetto and hood and all this stuff like that, and loud and belligerent. What is this? Or badly built? What is this? That's why I say there is no such thing as a black and brown coalition. It's not saying that you can't have friends of another group or anything like that. That's not what's being said. But as far as this unit goes, you want to unite with that? Oh, no. No. Sorry. Ain't happening. And the one in the black, her makeup looks crazy. But I just wanted to show y'all that. But let's move on now to the next story. And this story right here, this actually was Professor Black Truth's Friday Crime Report yesterday. Hold on.
It's a heartbreaking Uber shooting. An 81-year-old man shoots and kills a female Uber driver after they had both fallen victim to a phone scam. The elderly suspect in court for sentencing. Stephen Fabian has the latest.
An elderly man learns he'll be spending the rest of his life in prison after being convicted in the fatal shooting of an innocent Uber driver.
The defendant's indefinite prison term is 21 years to life in prison.
Terrifying video from the Uber driver's dash cam captured the horrible killing 2 years ago. You can see 81-year-old William Brock pointing a gun at the driver. He had just shot her in the leg. The Uber driver, Lolitha Hall, was frantically trying to explain that she was there to pick up a package, but Brock shot her a total of 6 times, killing her. Brock told police that a scammer had called him threatening his family and told him that a female driver would be coming by to pick up the money. At the same time, the Uber driver was ordered by the scammer to Brock's house to pick up a package. Police say the Uber driver was completely unaware of the scheme. At his trial in Ohio, the defendant watched dash cam footage that showed him holding the Uber driver at gunpoint, then opening fire.
Does she say, hey, I've got to go?
She didn't know.
She never threatens you that she has it, right?
No.
I'm asking you what actually happened.
And I'm telling you, I was in a state of shock. I don't remember.
Lolitha Hall's son spoke at the elderly man's sentencing.
She was my mother, first and foremost. But she was also my best friend. She didn't get to grow old like William Brock. Instead, she was murdered.
The prosecutor said there are no winners because both families have lost loved ones.
I don't care about William Brock's family. Now, you heard what he said in the confession when he was being cross-examined by the prosecutor. He basically admitted right here in this moment that this woman wasn't a threat to him, and he just shot. He said, because I was in a state of shock. No. See, rightful sentence. 21 years to life. And mind you, he's 84 years old now. So at 21 years, he'll be over 100 if he even makes it that far. But yeah, he won't make it. Exactly, KG. They can go visit him at any time. Anytime they want to see, anytime this man wants to see his mom, he has to go to a graveyard. He has to go to a cemetery and talk to her grave. Emmanuel, they do that all the time. They always try to, and that goes back to the deep dive that I did when I say, why does Hollywood glamorize or sanitize white criminality? Here we go right here. And this, and it, as you can see, it plays out and bleeds into real life. So good riddance to him. Let's go on to the next story. Hold on, y'all. And this one is coming out of okay. This is the story right here. I really couldn't wait to get on talk about Chad Watts. Let me just, I'm not going to explain to y'all what happened with this guy, but I just want y'all to see it. Just watch this.
Now, this comes as a Texas man is charged with assault for allegedly starting a physical altercation involving a high school girl. Leaders in the community outside of Austin are criticizing the incident. They say it happened when a group of students was protesting immigration and custom enforcements on Monday. The fight happened during a string of walkouts across Central Texas to protest ICE operations. Yesterday, police announced they arrested 45-year-old Chad Watts from Kyle in connection with the fight.
So I was like, oh, are they like jumping this guy at first, you know, and I didn't. Then I realized, oh, wow, he's like an adult that actually like got out of his car and, you know, probably started getting violent or whatever.
A full-grown adult on a young high school girl is a lot of power to overthrow, and so it took enough people around finally to get him off of her.
Investigators say he was the primary aggressor, and he's since been charged with 2 counts of assault causing bodily injury.
All right, so y'all just saw that right there. When I saw this, I said, okay, who in the chat ever saw that movie Weapons? Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen the movie Weapons. KG said A, so I'm assuming that's your 1. Didn't that right there in that moment when they was going in on him, didn't that remind you of the end of the movie? With the exception of the, you know, the grotesqueness of it all. I don't want to spoil it for people who may want to watch it, but the end of that movie reminded me of what y'all just saw in this video, except in this video, it wasn't that gruesome as it was in the movie. But this dude is 45 years old, got out of his car, out of his vehicle, and went and messed with some kids at a protest. Because I think he ended up grabbing up one of the girls or something like that, and then from one angle, it looked like he was being jumped, but nah, they was defending their classmate. And they literally feet, knees, elbows, forearms, fists. I wouldn't be surprised if he got bit too. But it was like, it's a longer video to that. Like I saw the full video on Instagram that was nearly a minute long. I mean, they was dragging that guy all up and down that grass. And even when he tried to get away, they went and beat him some more. Man, some moves when he said I walked back into the live stream or something. Yeah, you did. But see, this is what happens when you don't mind your business. What concern of what those kids was protesting had anything to do with him? Nothing. Nothing. So he got what he got. Not only did he get arrested, but he also got charged. And not one of them kids got hit with a charge. Not one assault charge, as they should. And they were minding their business. He's the one that came over and started it. But let's go on to the next story, y'all. Before we do that, shout out to Sammy for the 2. He said, makes you think of Andre Williams, right, Torian? I think he might have gotten it worse. With Andre, he just got kind of tumbled. Like, he got tumbled. But he didn't get, like, Chad Watts, literally, they were going in on him for a while. With Andre, he just got rolled. Don't get me wrong, it was funny to see. But with Chad Watts, he got pummeled. But let's go to this story right here. Fairbanks man charged with, you know what, after shooting his grandmother. Let's get into
tragedy occurred in Fairbanks. Police say a young man has killed his own grandmother inside of her home. It's a case raising serious questions about mental health and what warning signs may have been missed. Johnson Q
Here we go.
Details.
Fairbanks police say 29-year-old Brian Davenport fatally shot his 87-year-old grandmother Velma Coons at her Fairbanks home on 22nd Avenue Tuesday. Officers found Davenport outside the home behaving erratically and transported him to the Fairbanks Memorial Hospital, where he was placed on a mental health hold. Less than an hour later, authorities received a separate report of gunshots fired from the same location. When police arrived, they found Coons dead in her home. Officers say she was still seated in her wheelchair with a fatal gunshot wound to the back of her head. Investigators learned that Coons was under hospice care and had been diagnosed with intestinal cancer. Coons' son, George Coons, was in court today saying Davenport has a history of not taking his medications, encouraging the state to not release him.
He's a danger to the public. Obviously, he assaulted his mother last summer, and now my mother.
We've included the full charging doc on our website and mobile app. This case remains under investigation, and we'll bring you updates as we receive them.
All right, so y'all saw that. Another familicide, y'all. And from what I gather, I believe the grandmother was in her wheelchair when he did it. And she was in hospice care, which means she didn't have that long. And he took her out prematurely. Oh, yeah, I see that. Mental health. I was waiting for it. There it is, because you know you got to slide that mental health thing in there. Yep. Same old, unfortunately. But RIP to that woman. Now, the next two stories I'm loving that I'm able to do. And we're going to do this, and we're going to run this drop back again. A person we haven't talked about on the channel in quite some time. What a perfect way or a perfect opportunity to use that Triple P intro. Valentina Gomez, KG, one of KG's favorite people. Look at this. Failed anti-LGBTQ immigrant MAGA influencer banned from Texas Republican Party events. Let's see what they're talking about. Far-right social media influencer, and she's not influencing a damn thing if you ask me, whose political career has been fueled more by provocation than by votes, complained this week that Texas Republicans have barred her from party events. She also claimed without evidence that she was stripped of her ability to vote, allegations that arrive amid a familiar mix of incendiary rhetoric and unverifiable claims. Valentina Gomez, who has described herself to her more than 400,000 followers online as a Colombian immigrant and a MAGA conservative. I mean, look at this. This doesn't even sound right. A Colombian immigrant and a MAGA conservative made the assertions in a video posted Wednesday to Instagram. In it, she says the Republican Party of Texas is so corrupt that it banned her from party functions after she exposed the horrible health conditions of 84-year-old Congressman John Carter, the longtime incumbent in Texas' 31st Congressional District. She also claims she's under investigation by multiple federal agencies, as she should be, and alleges that officials used their power to remove me from voting polls, adding that they made it illegal for me to cast my vote. The video quickly veers from grievance to exhortation. Gomez urges supporters to send your mailing ballots to Texas, describe her campaign as David versus Goliath, and asks viewers to vote me to Congress. Ain't nobody voting this nutcase to any place except for maybe an asylum. It closes with a pledge to make Texas the worst place for terrorists, Muslims, illegals, and corrupt politicians to live in, which I find interesting because didn't she go from another state because she said how corrupt it was up there and it went to Texas, and because it ain't working out for her there now, it's corrupt down there. News flash, Valentina, most politicians are corrupt. I don't know if anyone's never told her this. But something tells me if she was actually able to get in, and that's a very hypothetical, she would be just as corrupt as the next ones. And then we'll sit up there and lie and say how non-corrupt she is. Local Republicans describe a narrower dispute. The Williamson County Sun reported last week that Gomez was barred from county party events following an altercation at a GOP gathering. Party officials told the paper the restrictions stemmed from conduct at the event, not from policy disagreements. Now that I actually do believe. The report described the confrontation involving Carter, age 84, who has represented the district since 2003. Unfortunately, an opportunistic candidate for Congressional District 31 chose to turn this joyous occasion into a campaign gimmick for social media clout. The type of self-serving behavior displayed Saturday is unacceptable in this context, and this candidate has been informed that she is no longer permitted to attend our private events or meetings. Gomez has offered no evidence to support her claims that she was removed from the voter polls or placed under federal investigation. That's because there's no evidence there. She's probably just straight up lying, which I'm almost certain she most likely is. Texas election law sets out specific documented procedures for any change in a voter's registration status, and election officials have not confirmed any actions affecting her eligibility. This episode follows a similar pattern. Gomez previously ran as a Republican for Missouri Secretary of State in 2024 and lost badly, finishing near the bottom of a crowded primary. That campaign drew national attention for anti-gay slurs, attacks on trans people, and inflammatory stunts. The Academy advocacy group GLAAD had repeatedly documented her posts and videos saying she used slurs and trafficked in dehumanizing rhetoric that fueled harassment and threats against queer people. So, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, she's getting exactly what she deserves. And she does too much. She's always extra for no reason. Nobody voting that in. Well, we got one more story, y'all. We got one more story. And then I will drop the link. But I have to play the drop again.
After smashing an anti-ICE sculpture on the front steps of the state capitol, a far-right influencer has been told to stay away. A Ramsey County judge ordered Jake Lang to stay 3 blocks away from the Minnesota state capitol. WCCO's Reg Chapman talked with the veterans group behind the sculpture.
It took about 7 days and $7,000 to complete this ice sculpture, but it only took seconds to destroy it. It was commissioned by Common Defense, a national grassroots veterans group with a goal of fighting for democracy.
Because this is destruction of property, and because of how much that art costs, it's a felony destruction of property. And so we hope to see justice done there, as we hope to see justice done across this country.
The man who filmed himself destroying the structure, Jake Lang, was arrested and charged with destruction of property. He told troopers he broke the sculpture yesterday because he was exercising his First Amendment right to artistic expression. When troopers caught up with him, he asked to be placed in protective custody at the jail. Then, when he was placed in the squad, he asked a cohort to take a photo of him. I'm tired of the preschool classes. The far-right influencer from Florida sparked this heated scene last month when he staged a rally in downtown Minneapolis, and he had planned another rally at the Capitol this weekend. But after Thursday's arrest, a judge barred him from coming within 3 blocks of the property. Our cameras caught him driving away from jail Friday evening.
Art can be destroyed, but our resolve to defend democracy and to defend our neighbors and fight for what is right cannot be destroyed.
Thomas says the goal now is to rebuild the ice sculpture, and this time it might be bigger. Common Defense had a permit to put their message in ice on the steps of the state capitol.
So we've been working across the country to help push back against the terror campaign that ICE is unleashed on our cities.
Thomas says Common Defense will continue to use his voice for true accountability and justice. With photo.
Okay, so Scoop, the reason why Jake Lang sounds familiar, because I talked about him a couple times, but like Wallow said in the chat, he tried to do some kind of anti-white discriminatory protest after the Carmelo Anthony situation last year, which was a fail. Everything that Jake Lang does is a fail, and it's all for, like they say, social media clout and attention and whatever coins he can scrounge up. You know, last month, you know, he got into it with the people down in Minnesota. I mean, they put him through it. There was another video where he went to a local Minnesota restaurant and they kicked him out, and he tried to say that his First Amendment right was being violated. He's one of the people that abuses his First Amendment right all the time, and I do mean all the time. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on X right quick, because I wish they had the video on here of Jake Lang kicking over the sculpture, and I want you to see how unathletic Jake Lang is. I mean, it is horrible with how terrible his form is. Let me see. All right, I found it. I want y'all to look at this. Look at how bad his form is with just kicking something. Watch this. Look at that. Almost bust his ass. Let me play that again. I wish he would have fell too.
Pro-life, baby. America first, America only. We'll see you here February 7th, Saturday, 12 noon, outside the Minnesota State Capitol.
That didn't age well. And did he squeal a little bit when he kicked? It sounded like a squeal. Did y'all hear that? Did he squeal or did he fart? That was a squeal because he has a microphone on.
Pro-life, baby. America first, America only. We'll see you here.
I just got to play the part again when he almost fell. Oh my God. Y'all, this is Jake Lang, y'all. This is Jake Lang. All right, let me stop sharing this. Let me go ahead and drop the link so y'all can come on up. And because it is the centennial, I'm going to give y'all 4 minutes instead of the usual 3 and 2. Because there was a lot of topics that were discussed today. So I'm being courteous today. The link is in the chat, y'all. Of course, Wallow, what's going on?
Oh, what's going? I'm sorry, Tori. What's up, everybody? That was funny. How you out of breath once you start walking? That's sad. And he's not a big dude. Pause. He's not a heavy set dude. He doing all that just to kick some ice sculptures, and then you film it.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
and posted it up too. And also, too, I forgot to mention, too, he also, along with him getting arrested and charged, he also got hit with a $6,000 fine.
what a dumbass. Like, seriously, him and that other butt dude. Now we see why these white women don't want y'all no more. Y'all doing... How you get beat up by teenagers, Torian? How? You supposed to be kicking them off from left and right. You got beat up by teenagers. God damn. He trash. Just... horrible. I ain't never seen nothing like this before in my life. You do all that. You go all the way up to Minnesota for some bullshit like that. Seriously? Let me get down. Let me drop down so I can laugh at that video again, Torian. Be one.
All right, shout out to Wallow for coming up. Sammy, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Torian? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, Torian. Anytime like I see a lot of these conservative pundits doing stupid crap like this, and Jake Lang, the Bevelin Beatty, to going ahead and just like adding to their rap sheet and stuff like that. Don't they think that this stuff really does not get off your record, and still when it's public known information, like it's there forever? And it's like, don't they think about the long term effects that's going to happen? Because Trump only has like maybe. If they've already said if the Democrats get the House and the Senate, they filing those impeachment papers ASAP, and they don't think about the long term effects.
Mhm.
So it's like I always wonder like what goes through they thought process.
It doesn't. They act on impulse. They don't think. They just do.
Right. And Torian, not to defend the left or anything, but it's like at least like people that are left leaning, at least many of them will think before they do. And they always try to say how the left are just so emotionally like they're always built on emotion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But another subject is, Torian, even though you it wasn't I asked you about this, but do you plan on listening to J. Cole's album, man? Are you a fan?
I am. I haven't been listening to it yet. I've been knee deep into this book that I got. So
yeah, I finished the other the Clay Kane book that you told me to get, Torian. So I got to get that one. So I'm definitely going to check that one up. I'm going to get it on Amazon. And I know you don't really do like music reviews, Torian, but I think that's something that you should start doing for your channel. And I would love to hear your thoughts and reviews on the Fall Off album.
Mm-hmm.
All right, peace, man. B1.
B1. All right, shout out to Samuel for coming up. All right, next up.
What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Hey, Jake Lang sound like a mixture of a chicken and a pig when he's still kicking at that stuff. And I actually saw a clip of that last night on Lovely T.I.'s video. Shout out to Lovely T.I. Check her out on YouTube as well. She was the reason why I discovered his arrest for destroying a sculpture. I have a question. Did they ever investigate who was behind that call that led to the man shooting that lady, the Uber driver lady? Because they got the dude, but they ain't try to see who was behind the call. Because of that, that's what also led to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, then again, I didn't really follow the trial like that either. I don't think they did.
Yeah, and that's what pissed me off. They leaving out the most important things, like because that caller was the reason. So that woman's blood is much on that caller's hands as it is on that William Brock person's hands, and he should be spending a lot of time in prison as well.
Kind of reminds you what happened with Tamir Rice, because that's how the cops pulled up on him, because somebody had called and they said, "Oh, we see somebody in the park with a gun." A lot of people forget about that part.
That's the same thing with the dude that was on the phone with his girlfriend. He had a toy gun, but someone mistaken it for a gun, and he was supposed to be a military veteran, so he's supposed to know the difference between a fake gun and a real gun. And he didn't. And he for some reason saw that black dude holding some toy gun and assumed to pretend to think it was real and call the cops on him to be him. I think it happened at Walmart. I forgot his name. And his girlfriend, I think she died a few weeks later after his death. So it's just a lot of crazy, a little crazy domino effect that was going on over there. But, and yeah, as for Lil Jon and Snoop Dogg's daughter, I heard about them. And that's one thing I hate about Lil Jon's son. His son dies, and they don't know what happened. I feel like they don't never try to investigate black people's death as much as they go to other races' death, especially white people's death. If that dude was white, they'll go hard and try to investigate it. But because it was a black kid, it's like they just won't make up an assumption. That's why I'm saying there's always so much you know, inequality that goes on around this. But I'm gonna go ahead and let my plane right there, and I'm gonna finish my workout. But yeah, I just want to put my thoughts on that because I thought it was weird.
All right, appreciate you coming up. Wally, you didn't get your wish. Next up, we got Joseph. What's going on?
Salute, Torian. Salute to the chat room. Can you hear me loud and clear?
I can hear you.
Nicki Minaj's status has dropped tremendously after that farce of a reward given by Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats to Jenners for winning 2 Grammys. I'm still waiting for that Oscar sweep.
Mm-hmm. But we'll see. I'm gonna hold my breath about it. I'm not saying they won't win any, but we'll see.
And yeah, what happened to that dude amongst them group of protesters? Yeah, I was ready to type real life weapons. Didn't Weapons say it was based on actual events?
I don't think it was.
Well, the sequel could be a part 2.
I said when I looked at that, I said, "Oh, look at what they doing on Gladys."
Yeah, and you said it yourself. If people mind their business, stuff like this
Exactly.
might happen.
What possessed him to get out of his vehicle to go over there and mess with them? Like they weren't bothering him. They made it seem like they got in his face. No, you got out of your car because you felt uncomfortable and you got in the face of children. I think that's what made it even more worse. Like this dude is 45 years old and he's getting in the face of kids that are young enough to be his kids.
Right. And you know what? What happened to him was mild not only compared to Weapons, but Hostel 1 and 2. If you ever like watch clips of those kids in that movie jumping on adults.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I almost forgot that the Super Bowl will be tomorrow, and it's like
I don't care about it. I really don't.
I was saying to people at work, I was like, honestly, this is the first time in a while where I will only watch it for like the movie trailers and the commercials. And almost immediately, that's not what you watch the Super Bowl for.
Right. That's why I said last year's Super Bowl was very entertaining in the sense that you had 2 teams that were going against each other where it could have went either way, even though I'm personally glad the Eagles destroyed the Chiefs. But then also the halftime show was highly anticipated.
Right. Oh, and congrats to Kendrick. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Also, I didn't mean to cut you off. I wanted to say congrats to Kendrick Lamar for breaking the record of Grammy wins.
Yeah, he's the most. He is the has the most Grammy wins as far as a rapper goes. Like they say, he surpassed Jay-Z.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
But what you were saying? I'm sorry.
Now I will say this though, I am curious to see the millions and millions of people that's going to be watching the MAGA halftime show because they've been quote unquote promoting that all over Twitter. They keep saying millions of people going to tune into this. I was like, okay.
Honestly, unless you said something, I didn't even know there was a MAGA halftime show.
Yeah, they doing something because they saying with Bad Bunny, he's not American to them, even though the dude is literally from Puerto Rico, which is a territory owned by the U.S. But then again, like I said, they are not smart. Okay, I mean, I suppose, but hey, do what you do.
Right. Anyway, I'm glad I was able to catch on this weekly recap. Thanks for having me up again. I look forward to catch more.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for coming up. Shout out to Joseph. Oh, Wallow, you almost got your buzzer with Joseph. He got out with 5 seconds to spare. All right, what's going on, my brother?
It's the mayor. What's cracking, Torian? B1 salute to you. B1 salute to the chat. Certified salute. I want to say congratulations to Ryan Coogler and Sinners. Mm-hmm. Also, I want to say RIP to Cori Broadus and Nathan Smith. I think that Cori Broadus, though, I think that was karma. because Snoop been feuding with his cousin over his royalties. So, you know, God don't like ugly, so I think that has something to do with that, but I could be wrong. To hell with Shaboozey or Shaboozey. To hell with him. Immigrants did not build this country. FBA built this country. And we're just going to keep emphasizing that every chance we get. Luigi Mangione, I think he's tied in with the mob. Honestly. Nicki Minaj, to hell with her, like I said earlier. William Brock, you got what was coming to you. If you ask me, 21 years wasn't enough. Should have got more time, but he ain't going to live to see it. And then Chad Watts, mind your own damn business. I don't know, Denise. I'm either going to run for city council or mayor again. And what else I got? I think that's it. I think I covered everything. The dude, Jake Lane, to hell with him. He's a clown. You see, he couldn't even fucking kick over those damn ice blocks without having to, you know, be out of breath. So he's out of shape. He's washed up. He's done. Just like majority of the mugs that Trump pardoned. So yeah, I'm not getting the buzzer, Wallow. Make sure y'all check out Frontline Black News later on to this evening. Peace.
Appreciate you coming up. Shout out to the mayor for coming up. Next up, we got Cosmo. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Oh man, let me tell you, this whole situation with like he mentioned, someone mentioned Kendrick Lamar, and it goes to show like how I don't understand how people now hate this guy for some other reason than just capitalizing and being successful and staying to his craft. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And Black History Month of all, you got, and the ones who the most critical about him is other Black people, all because it's been 2 years plus, and he packed out a certain dude that will not, that's back in court
Wow.
over the appeal. It's a shame, but enough of that. That video that you showed earlier, showing with the Hispanic girl attacking the dude, like, oh, that was recording.
Yeah.
I show this to my friend who's of Dominican descent all the time. Is always talking about ICE. I'm like, now you understand why we don't help, right? I tell him I school his ass every day about how, especially the South of the Borderians gave us their ass to kiss. And I played the video for him of Angelina Castro so the Cubans can get it too. Because she said it herself. Damn well her own family had problems with it. So this whole thing, these people don't get it. They really don't. I'm tired of having to explain. So I just came off a live stream talking to people about occupational hazards. I've been injured like 3 times this week, bro.
Wow.
Working in EMS. I'm just like, there's a lot of stuff. And you really think I'm going to be out there crashing out for a bunch of people who don't give a fuck about me? Or you say, okay.
Exactly.
They got another thing coming. They got another thing coming to them because I'm dealing with enough. And one day I'm gonna tell y'all the story of what I went through this week. Like, but not right now. I'm gonna just basically get back to what I'm doing. I'm gonna land my plane. Thanks for having me up.
No problem.
All right.
Shout out to Cosmo for coming up. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the link is closed. The last person is about to come up, and I think y'all know who this is.
Heed my command and reclaim these relics of hatred.
Miss Nisi, take us home the best way you know how.
All right. Good afternoon, Torian and family in the chat. Congratulations to the movie Sinners on their awards. The rest of the subjects don't give a fuck. I'm going to talk about this damn deep freezer weather we be under, the East Coast. Torian, I have dripped my cold water faucet for over 2 weeks now. And I just paid my water bill, which shocked the shit out of me that it wasn't higher. I was expecting it to be higher, but it wasn't. Oh, God. Then yesterday, we got hit with a snow squall. I'm at my weekly barbershop appointment. The snow hit. Now, I mean, it came down quick, Torian. I asked my barber, I said, can you hurry up and make quick work on my due so I get up out of here? went back to work, got my charger, submitted my vacation time, and got my ass home as quickly as possible. But I ended up sliding 3 times, missed the traffic light 2 times because my ass can't get up on the incline.
Wow.
And today we're in the teens. It's going to drop down to single digits tonight.
That sounds about right, because I think we're supposed to be dealing with the same thing here where I'm at. Like, we are under like a high wind warning. It's literally only 18 degrees right now.
Well, the sun is out, but it ain't warm. Yesterday, my next door neighbor had to push me into my parking spot because, like I said, with the ice, the frigid temperatures, and then the additional snow, no matter what tires you got on your car, you're gonna spin.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
But I'm grateful to my next door neighbor. She ran me to the grocery store to get a few last minute things because she got a 4-wheel drive. And like I said, I'm older now, Torian. My reflexes ain't as quick.
Yeah.
And my car is paid off, and I ain't trying to start that shit all over again.
So you saw what KG wrote in the chat.
What? Tim Pool's fault?
Lord. You know he's your neighbor.
Oh God. KG.
Hey, next time ask Tim Pool, can you borrow his beanie?
No, thank you. I put a scarf on my head before I wear that funky looking beanie. Anywho, KG, I love you. You still my favorite shit stir. But anyway, what's my time, Torian? I never asked that.
Oh no, you good. But I will say this before you go. You ready for next Wednesday?
What's next Wednesday?
The 11th.
Oh, yes. I'm glad you said that. I got to finish up the rest of the season with episodes of Cross. Those in the chat, if you have Prime Video, I highly recommend the series Cross. It is very, very good. But I'm still concerned they better have Mama Nana on there. That's all I got to say.
We know that's your spirit animal.
There it is. All right, you be safe. Love you. Right. Take care, family.
You be good. All right, shout out to Miss Nisi. All right, y'all. So that's gonna bring this weekly recap to a close. Shout out to Sammy Bryant for contributing to the super chat this afternoon. Shout out to everybody that came up and spoke. Like I said, it was a lot of topics to go through, but next week it probably won't be as many topics as it was today, but we was covering 2 weeks worth of stuff. We got another super chat that just came in. Shout out to Alpha, the first one. He says, can you play that video where Lily Gaddis is and a white guy talking about wifing up? Oh, I know what video you're talking about. I did a whole video about that. I don't know if you've seen it. Shout out to you for the super chat though. I did a whole video talking about that. I think I did 2 videos. One of them was just focused on that. I think it was the Lily Gaddis one, but I incorporated that video in there. But then I did a whole nother commentary and I incorporated that video again. But I already talked about that. That's the guy in that video. That's the one who got smacked in New York on that block and then ran and said to Nick Winters and said, that guy slapped me. The one who got slapped by Oswald Cobblepot. But I appreciate the contribution. But anyway, y'all, the next video commentary you will be seeing from me will be on Monday. So there won't be any lives tomorrow. There won't be any videos tomorrow because despite how people might feel about the Super Bowl, I know people going to be going to parties. Some people probably going to be hosting parties. So tomorrow's just going to be just like a regular day. Even if I had the opportunity to do it, I couldn't because I won't be available myself. So I will talk to you all again on Monday. Y'all be safe, stay warm, but most importantly, be one.